In Domu Village, mornings smelled of red earth and ground millet. Abba, a young orphan girl, barefoot and silent, goes to help farmers on their farms during the planting and harvest seasons in order to earn some food every day. She had learned how to weed on her uncle's farm. During the lean seasons, when there isn't much to do on the farms, she fetches water from the river for people so they would give her some food. In fact, she did any kind of chore that she could find for people to give her things such as food, clothes, beddings, and whatever they would offer that she may need. Abba, being a kind-hearted girl, often volunteered and also helped people in the community for free. After her parents died when she was just 4 years old, Abba lived with her uncle and his wife for some years until her uncle also passed away mysteriously just when she turned 11 years old. Her uncle's wife remarried into another village, and this became her fate until Newtown showed up. A blessing in disguise, one may say. When the city people began to settle in Domu, a lot of things changed. Many farmers now used machines to work on their farms, and so she barely got any regular work to do for them. Her presence was sometimes like nuisance when she showed up on the farm. With time, she began to serve tea and other snacks to construction workers in Domu Village. She helps Auntie Abla to sell tea in her tea shop for a few coins which she saves to buy food and other things she needs. She also delivered tea and snacks to Auntie Abna's customers, most of whom were travelers lodging in Domu and workers at the construction site. Mornings in Domu still smelled of red earth, but this time it is mingled with a little bit of fume from exhausts of motor vehicles. Abba carried trays of steaming tea through narrow paths every morning. Orphaned young, Abba was known only by her apron and whispered, "Thank you," to her customers after serving them. But why not? She thought to herself. Thanks to them, I am guaranteed of breakfast every day at Auntie Abna's shop. She was grateful that she now has slippers to wear, and she could also afford to buy soap. One morning, a woman in crisp blouse and skirt arrived. City clean, city curious. Mrs. Wester came to Domu for a business appointment. She asked for a second cup of tea, and then she asked Abba for her name. When Abba whispered, "Abba," the woman smiled. "Abba, you have nice name, steady hands, and a very good reception. You should come and see Newtown." And for the first time, Abba heard her name with kindness. The next day, Abba received a folded card, an invitation to a Newtown gathering. Voices spoke of jobs and markets, jobs that actually paid. Abba's heart jittered. Could she cross the threshold from tea girl to something more? Abba walked into a Newtown plaza, skirts fluttered like birds on satin. She carried the tea tray, her sword and her shield. People buzzed, government officials, street vendors, and curious locals. When she served tea at the welcome table, her hands shook, but then she heard applause. The city woman approached with an envelope. We'd like you to join us, Abba, as an assistant at the Domu Roots Cafe, she said. This meant uniform, wages, a bus ticket home. But more than that, it meant respect. For the first time, her apron was a uniform, not a burden. Domu Newtown was a fast-pacing highway. It was ever rising, ever changing, and always on the go, always busy. And Abba has to learn fast to catch up with that pace. Weeks turned to months. Abba learned baling, how to bake fresh bread, and how to shake hands with visitors. She earned her first salary, her very own. Even older women seemed to admire her when they saw her in her apron and badge. They nodded. If she can, so can I. In Newtown's glare, her quiet confidence grew, and soon she got a promotion at the cafe. One afternoon, she returned to Domu Village, bringing pastries, cash gifts, and stories. Children followed her. Parents stared. She realized she belonged in both places. The village hadn't rejected her. She had risen from her previous status, but was not forgotten. She could not help but notice that there were still young people in Domu who needed help like she did years ago. She started collecting second-hand clothes, footwears, food and other items from Newtown and donating them to orphans and the less privileged in Domu Village from time to time. One day, Della, a young man working in a nearby office, said to Abba, "Abba, I love you and I want to marry you. Please accept and marry me." They had been friends for some months now, but Abba had other plans, so she turned him down. She had bigger goals. Being an orphan herself, Abba has always longed to have a family of her own, to one day get married and have children. Her unfortunate childhood has, however, taught her that she needs to be financially stable before starting a family of her own. She therefore turned down the last proposal and that of all other suitors for the time being. They were both very sad, but she wanted to focus on her goals. Months turned to years, and Abba saved up some money to start attending evening classes for a course in business management. She planned to set up her own business someday and was working towards achieving that goal. She said to herself, "If I get a better job or promotion or even set up my own business, I can give my children the kind of life I want them to have in future. I could also help those in need and maybe even establish an orphanage." As fate will have it, Mrs. Wester one day put her cafe up for sale since she had to relocate abroad. "This is opportunity," Abba said to herself when she saw the banner for sale. She discussed with Mrs. Wester that she was interested in buying the cafe. Mrs. Wester was initially pleasantly surprised, and yet she questioned. "But that will cost a lot of money, Abba," she said. Abba proposed that she would make an initial deposit and then pay the rest in installments. "Consider it done, my daughter," said Mrs. Wester, who even gave her a discount. "I know without a doubt that you would manage this cafe excellently. I couldn't have asked for a better buyer," she said as she handed over the keys and documents to Abba. And just like that, Abba had a business to her name. all because she was prepared at the time opportunity came knocking. Just like that, she became a cafe owner within a twinkle of an eye. That night in Newtown, Abba laid her uniform beside her bed. Today, she poured tea just for herself. At the balcony, overlooking the city lights, the wind carried distant sounds of Domu drums, and in the heart of Domu Newtown, she became more than her past. For she herself, as well as her story, became hope for many. She raised her cup cheering. To destiny, she whispered. The tea was warm, and so was her hope.